Hello YouTube, I'm back with the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Review, and today I'm reviewing the starter deck, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Really didn't have much of a name going for it. I mean, it's really just the 5D starter deck. It was the starter deck that was made right around the time that Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D started airing in the US and all that. So I'd say it's pretty decent. I mean, this is the debut of Synchro Monsters. We have no idea what those are. Got a couple of them right here. They come with the starter deck. This one you'll probably have a little bit easier time summoning because there's no restraints really at all whatsoever. Yeah, it's very generic. Yeah, I mean, it'll take some time to get used to if you're just kind of looking for something to bring your game up a notch a little bit. These cards will help a little bit. I mean, they're not overpowered. I mean, the only one you're actually really going to see out of that starter deck is Colossal Fighter. It's fantastic. I mean, the boost, it doesn't get a whole lot stronger from its attack boost. Mere 100 points for each warrior type monster in your graveyard, but it adds up over time. If you're running a straight up warrior monster deck, then you'll definitely get some good use out of this. And it's also a nice defense as well, because every time it bites the dust, it gets destroyed in battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon a warrior from your graveyard, including itself. So the second it goes to the graveyard, you can bring it right back to start all over again. But in defense mode, you'll never ever have to worry about a monster dealing you damage unless it inflicts piercing battle damage, the likes of Fairy Meteor Crush or Spear Dragon or anything like that. Yeah, as you can see, since these cards are brand new, they're foil. I don't know if you can see it all that well. See, there you go. There's a good Colossal Fighter. Junk Warrior here, or over here is Ultra. See that pretty well there. Super rare as well. I mean, this one is definitely, if you're going to start with this one. Because, I mean, there's no restraints on how you summon it, except you just got to follow the rules on how to synchro summon. So it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's pretty easy. And of course, since this is a starter deck, it includes a lot of various cards to help you out, kind of help you bring it out. Some cards are reprints, some other stuff. A couple of new cards in here. See, Synchro Boost is a new card. I think pretty much anything related to synchro summoning is brand new in this. I don't think there's much else, especially Toon Warrior. This is before I think we realized what they were going to do with it. How were they going to handle it? Because, I mean, before, up until this point, we'd never had a monster with more than one type, like a type and a subtype, other than things like, the effect monsters, like the Toon monsters, the Union monsters. They were all effect monsters. This was a normal monster. How were they going to deal with it? And yes, all they did, stick the word Tuner next to it. Next to its regular type. Pretty much just adding it to the list of monsters that have a type and a subtype. And of course, since this is kind of sort of Yusei's deck in a way, you got some cards that he actually using here too. Like Sonic Chick here. So I mean, it's not a bad deck. I mean, unfortunately, some of the cards are kind of junky. Like, I mean, no one's gonna use Woodburg and Pachi here. Yeah, it's got some somewhat decent defense, but so does Labyrinth Wall, and that has zero. I mean, it has 3,000 defense points. It's actually a bit better. Plus, it's a rock type monster. You can send it to the graveyard for other stuff. I mean, you're not going to double its attack with limit removal here. Even though it's a machine type monster, it's pretty crappy as a whole. Of course, this includes a lot of nice reprints too. And of course, since it's a synchro summon deck, it includes a lot of cards that either were reprints or brand new, and it even includes a little bit of the X-Saber archetype here. This is actually, I think, one of the only ones that's in here. I think we get a little bit more into X-Sabers in the next starter deck, because that actually has more synchros and includes kind of more refined into X-Sabers. I think that's when they were just starting to get released, and then Konami basically decided, okay, let's just make a starter deck with X-Sabers. That's practically what you get here. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say about this? So if you're kind of getting started, you've already gotten used to the regular ways of dueling. You want to update it, include a couple synchro summons. You can probably get the starter deck. Albeit, it's going to probably be a little harder to get nowadays. Since this deck, I mean, we've had so many starter decks over the years. But yeah, you'll definitely, I mean, you shouldn't have too much trouble getting started. I would probably recommend working your way up. Bring this guy out several times. And then bring this guy out several times. This is the next most generic monster in the included with the starter deck. and then go after Junk Warrior. Junk Warrior is a little bit more difficult because it requires a specific tuna monster, and you're not always going to be able to draw that monster anyway. So, or I guess, yeah, you could probably update it, and that's what I did. I actually added 5 cards to this deck, mostly tuners and stuff like that. Kind of help the deck out a little bit, make it a little bit more competitive, even though one of the cards you can't even use nowadays is Heavy Storm, so. But yeah, I would definitely not. This is probably not recommended to take this to a tournament. I guess maybe you might get lucky, but I think nowadays you probably don't stand much of a chance unless you're running a deck that's unfortunately a copy of everyone else. Yeah, go figure. Konami basically punishes originality in this game. So if you're not running what everyone else is running, or a variation of that, you're probably not going to get very far. Unless you're really lucky. I mean, even they have bad days. You can have a... And it'll be a lot more expensive, typically, to actually try to play... I mean, the only thing you get out of being original, aside from being, well, original, is that your deck will obviously be inexpensive and probably less likely to be hit on the ban list. So you're going to be waiting a while before the next ban list comes out, especially since they no longer have dates for when things are being released. It's my dog in the background, just kind of walking by, meandering in my room, as she usually does. So yeah, that's my review on the starter deck, on the 5D starter deck. Thanks for watching.